This afternoon with a moment of silence, if everyone could just enjoy that moment of silence, please. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to the Douglas County Board of County Commissioners business meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. So that's 2/22/22. Would you all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Ingalls, do we have certification for everything on today's agenda?
We do, Madam Chair. My office has reviewed all items on today's agenda, and they all meet legal approval. I did want to note 2 typographical corrections that have been made since the agenda was first published. They're both on the consent agenda. One is item 3E, appointment to the Cultural Council. Dave Watts' name had been incorrectly included in the initial draft, and that has been corrected. And then finally, item 3AA, the last item on your consent agenda, it said the city of Larimer. It's actually Larimer County, and that correction has also been made.
Thank you, Mr. Ingalls. Do any commissioners have disclosures for any items on today's agenda?
I have none.
No, ma'am.
And I have none either. So the first thing on today's agenda is a Public Works Engineering presentation. Is Tom Peterson here?
Here you go, Doug.
Tom, would you like to come forward and do this, please? You can come to the podium. Yes, sir. If you can give us your name, spell your last name, and who you're with, please.
Okay. Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Tom Peterson, Peterson, and I'm the Director of the Colorado Asphalt Pavement Association. It's my pleasure to recognize Public Works Engineering for our annual partnership award. First of all, the Asphalt Pavement Association, yes, there's an association for everything. And we are the state association representing the 9 million ton asphalt industry of Colorado. There are 65 asphalt plants in 42 Colorado counties, and here locally in Colorado, or in Douglas County, contractors Schmidt Construction, Martin Marietta, Brandon Sand and Gravel, Aggregate Industries, and Kiewit Infrastructure are members. The award presented to the Public Works Engineering at our annual awards dinner on February 9th was in recognition of our longstanding partnership with the county. It recognizes, and the catalyst for the award was the development and completion of the new updated roadway specifications. And you think specifications, you think enforcement. From an industry side, we think new specifications allow new technology, innovation, and a common framework for getting good bidders and ample competition. And so this was the first time in the history of our program where we awarded a local entity versus either regional or state. Colorado DOT, the Department of Public Works Administration, other award, Colorado State University, and on. So today, on behalf of our board of directors, it's my honor to recognize Douglas County Engineering with our 2001 Partnership of the Year Award. And if Janet Herman, the director of Douglas County Engineering, Dan Roberts, director of operations, and I see Art Griffith is here. Art, if you could join us in recognition of this award. It recognizes the completion of the roadway specification. It recognizes the long-standing partnership between the county and CAPA, and it recognizes the proactive approach of the county to embrace new technology and program improvements. And when someone says, how's it to work with the county? Boy, you have capital improvements, you have contracts, and you have development, you have maintenance and supply. It's all facets of the program. And it doesn't hurt that the program has grown to the point where we measure everything in asphalt tons, has exceeded 100,000 tons of asphalt each year in your contract maintenance program. So on behalf of our board of directors, it's my privilege to recognize your team here with our 2021 Partnership Award in sincere appreciation of our partnership, presented at the 9th day of February 2022. Congratulations, Janet, Dan, and Art. Thank you for your work.
So Janet, why don't you say something first, and then we'll come down, the commissioners will come down and do a photo with all of you.
Nice.
Janet Herman, Director of Public Works. I just want to thank Tom and his team, Mike Skinner, he's here as well. They worked hand in hand with us. Dan, and I have to give most of the credit to Dan Roberts, Pete George, and a couple of our inspectors, Brian Schultz and John Dranick. They really worked hard to pull this thing out. And I do think that Tom's right. I think it's made us a lot better working with our developers, contractors, and builders.
Thank you. I remember Tom had sent us an email about an event, and the commissioners had, I think, a town hall that evening, so we could not attend. And so Tom suggested coming here today to do this. So thank you for being here so we could all celebrate. Would anybody else like to say anything before we come down and do a photo?
We're good. One, I can't hesitate. Dan just mentioned they're accepting bids for work, and there's a contractor, one of the ones I mentioned, hadn't bid work in years. He says, boy, I wonder what changed. I wonder why. Well, I think because of the revised specifications and the standards and the culture that this team is now implementing. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, and I just might add, Tom, thank you so much for the presentation and for acknowledging our remarkable staff. When I ran for this office 4 years ago, I talked very naively, frankly, about traffic solutions, recognizing now that it is so much more than any single commissioner or elected official can accomplish. It's really, I mean, certainly this represents a lot of road and a lot of expanded road in Douglas County, and that's only possible through remarkable staff that has the institutional memory and the ability to get good things done. So thank you very much.
I always remember a comment from my days in municipal government of if you don't take care of the roads today, you will eventually. And so it's very good to, thanks Tom for bringing this recognition to the team, and good job team, well done.
Let's go down and do a photo.
I'm actually not short, and then I stand next to her.
Are we good, Wendy? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely. Well done. Excellent. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Great seeing you. Well done.
It's always fun to have those kinds of presentations because it's the great employees in this county that make it such a great place to live, work, and play. With that, we'll move on to citizen comments. Is there anyone in the room who would like to comment on anything to the county commissioners or about anything on the consent agenda? If so, please come forward. Seeing no one come forward, Troy, is there anyone online?
Thank you, Commissioner. I have no online comment.
Thank you. I will close citizen comment then and bring it back to the board for a motion on the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, if it pleases the board, I have a motion to approve the requests in all items A through AA of the consent agenda.
Second?
There's a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to the regular agenda, number A. This is the payment in lieu of taxes, federal funding provided to fire protection districts assisting in the coverage of the Pike National Forest lands in Douglas County. Deborah Schnackenberg for staff. I'm sorry.
You got it. Good afternoon, Commissioners. As noted, today I'll be presenting payment in lieu of taxes, federal funding provided to fire protection districts assisting in coverage of the Pike National Forest lands in Douglas County. A bit of background on this presentation. Beginning in 2002 and every year since, Douglas County has provided supplemental funding for the 5 fire districts represented by the fire chief seated up front today. They respond to incidents in the Pike National Forest area of Douglas County. These districts are Jackson 105 Fire, Larkspur Fire, Mountain Communities Volunteer Fire, North Fork Fire, and West Douglas Fire. Commissioners, as you know, 1/3 of Douglas County consists of land managed by the Pike National Forest. And by its nature, it has few wildfire fighting resources available. The United States Forest Service has no fire stations in Douglas County. Forest Service response to fires in the Pike in Douglas County often must come from out of county and can have extended response times. So we rely on the fire districts represented here today to provide a first response and suppression to fires in the Pike. Not only do these fire districts respond to fires, but they also respond to medical calls, motor vehicle crashes, search and rescue missions, and other kinds of calls for service in the forest. We are both thankful and grateful for their help, and also grateful to you, Commissioners, for making this funding available to these fire districts in support of their missions. I think it's also important to note that these districts are largely, if not completely, supported by volunteer firefighter members, and that each plays a critical role in our partnership for wildfire suppression in the county, helping us to achieve our wildfire response goal of hard, heavy, and fast, and in keeping fires small and saving the lives and property of our Douglas County citizens and guests. For 2022, the county has approved $100,000 to be distributed amongst the 5 districts. These districts responded 112 times into the Pike National Forest in 2021. The distribution is based on a cost per call set at $892. If it please the board, I'd like to call each of the chiefs up one by one to share their thanks and to discuss their plans for their disbursements.
That would be very fine. Thank you.
Okay, great. And we'll start, I believe, I'm not sure Jackson 105 Fire is here. So we'll start with Larkspur Fire. Chief?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Stuart Mills. I'm the Fire Chief of Larkspur Fire Protection District. And I want to say that we truly appreciate, and I think I speak on behalf of the other fire chiefs here today, we appreciate your support with these PILT funds. Every little bit helps. And throughout the years, what we've done with these funds that we've gotten through PILT is obviously purchase wildland equipment and supplies. What we're going to be purchasing with our disbursement this year is 2 Kestrel weather meters. It's really important that we have spot weather on site when we have wildland fires. And fire hose wears out. We're going to replace some wildland hose. And fire shelters also wear out. When our crews are out on fires, they have to carry their fire shelters everywhere they're at, and they get jostled around, and eventually their integrity becomes not what it was when they were new, and they have to be replaced. So we're going to be replacing some fire shelters with these funds. And again, thank you very much for all your support. It truly is appreciated.
Thank you, Chief Mills.
You're welcome.
Mountain Communities Fire? Chief?
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Brown. I'm the Chief of Mountain Communities Fire. All volunteers, 34 volunteers right now on the roster. We cover 100 square miles officially, and then about another 50 to 100 square miles in Pike National Forest. It has no dedicated fire district. 47 calls last year in 2021. Half were fire, half were rescue. We seem to be getting more and more of the brush fires from abandoned campfires, things like that. So we do get on them very fast. That's one of the things that we try to do. Keep it on that side of Rampart Range is my motto, and we've done a pretty good job doing that. The rollovers from ATVs, that's one of our major rescue issues. And everybody on the department knows about the financial support that you've given us each year. It means a lot, especially when our total budget's about $80,000, you can imagine, for 34 volunteers and 11 trucks and 3 firehouses. So our main firehouse is in Douglas County, but we do have 2 supporting garages, if you will, in Teller County. So we service both counties. This year, we're going to use the funds provided to buy new bunker gear for several of the volunteers that need new bunker gear. Wildland gear is a constant need that we're going to use funds for. Hoses and nozzles, like Chief said before, constantly wearing them out on the fires that we're running on. The terrain is really rough terrain, so the hoses get dragged around a lot, obviously. We also have an ATV rescue squad, if you will, that we're going to buy gear for. And then we're going to buy some new SCBA tanks for our air packs for the firefighters that are qualified to go into structure fires. Again, we're a small rural department supported 100% by volunteers, so this really means a lot to us. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Brown.
And next we'll have North Fork Fire.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Chief Rogers with North Fork Fire, Kurt Rogers. Hey, I just really want to express our support. This is great what you guys do for the rural areas. A lot of us are very underfunded out in the rural communities, and every little bit helps with our projects that we work on. We've used the money in the past to buy wildland equipment, and some of it went towards an ambulance a couple years ago. So what we're planning to do this year is replace one of our utility vehicles, and we'll use some of the funds from this to do that. And we'll also work on replacing some of our wildland equipment coming up this year again too. So again, I can't express how important this is to rural areas in the state, and we really appreciate that you guys fund this program.
Thank you, Chief Rogers.
And last but never least, West Douglas Fire.
Commissioners, Terry Thompson, Fire Chief, West Douglas, located in Sedalia. As everybody said, thank you so much. This means a bunch. In the past, long time ago, I was coming back like these guys are for hoses and shovels and ATVs and things that we use on a daily basis. But for the last 5 years, with your approval, I have been rat-holing the money in a separate line item budget within our West Douglas budget to prepare for payment for a 66,000 gallons of water just on the Sedalia side of Rampart, on the east side of Rampart. That's getting really close to becoming a reality now. With this payment today, we're going to be close, but I'm still a little bit short. My board has agreed to go forward with this project for this summer, but we're still writing a couple more grants to try and get the balance. So my money is going towards water that we can all use in a forest fire situation. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chief Thompson. Are we missing a chief? Are there 5 that we're giving checks out to?
We're missing one today.
Okay. Who's missing?
Jackson 105.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners. As I think you've heard, this is a very special and unique program. And the money provided to this program will continue the goal of keeping fires small and saving lives and property in Douglas County. And are there any questions that I or any of the chiefs can answer for you at this point?
Comments?
You know, Deborah, I just want to thank you and all of the chiefs for being here. We have done this every year that I've been here, but probably never before in our history has it been more significant for us to really focus in on the potential for fire risk throughout not just Douglas County, but the rest of the state. I started the Douglas County Wildfire Initiative last year with many partners, and I'm incredibly thankful for the engagement and conversation with our fire chiefs, open space with the Forest Service. The governor did appoint me to the State Forest Service Council. And what's interesting is this year there's $3 billion with a B to talk about forest health. So when we think about Douglas County, many people don't realize we are 50% open space. And, you know, so many of these neighborhoods that have, you know, $1 million, $10 million homes are right next to a lot of open areas, open space, and a lot of trees and forestation. So looking forward to ongoing conversations with you all. When you talk about rat-holing money, I want to say come to our wildfire initiative and let's talk about ways in which we can invest in our rural communities and our entire region to protect it against wildfire. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Commissioner Layden. Commissioner Teal.
For many years, I was next door neighbors with Norris Groom in Castle Rock, and I know you gentlemen, you know Norris, and he'd tell me the stories of when Castle Rock Fire made that conversion over from being a volunteer organization to kind of the professionally staffed organization that we see today. And my hat is just off to you guys. I can't tell you how much respect I have for you. In your roles, you have to recruit, you have to train, and then when it comes time to act, you must take action. And hopefully, as you said, Chief, on your 34 or 43 calls last year.
47 for us.
47. Thank you for that correction. But you know, those are times that when they come, they're emergencies, and of course, we know that you guys are on top of it, leaders in our community, and doing a great job keeping us safe as a whole community. So I have a great deal of respect for you. I only have one check for you guys because we don't have Jackson 105. But if I could hand out all 5 checks myself, I'd be happy to. And I just wanted you to know, thank you. And you've earned our respect. Keep up the good job.
I'd just like to thank all of you. Having been a state trooper here in Douglas County, I know how important it is to work together and have the fire department there with rescue equipment. So thank you for many years. I know Terry and I worked together. And I'm always impressed, Terry, when you come up here and you tell us how you've got almost enough money for that tank. And that shows a lot of planning that we appreciate you doing with this money. So thank you. What we're going to do now is come down, give you your checks, and then stay up here so we can do some pictures. Okay?
And then we'll do the motion after. After you this. Oh, wow.
Let me start so they can hear you.
Okay, so I have the North Fork Fire Protection District. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Safe. Appreciate you.
Chief, Larkspur Fire.
Mountain Communities.
And then I have the West Douglas County Fire Protection District. I want you to come back and talk to us a little bit more about your plans.
I'll do it. Thank you.
Great, come on up.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
And then going once, going twice. Jackson 105.
Who wants it?
Yes, ma'am. Very good.
He works for us. the logo up and everything. You know, the last time we did this, we were all wearing masks, and the joke then was, is there anything in my teeth? Now I'm like afraid to smile. There might be something in my teeth. All right, fellas. Thanks so much. Yeah, chief, we'd like to hear about it. I mean, keep that gap closed if it was so. I'd like to hear about it. Maybe we could do that. See why it's so much. Well, maybe we do where we've got training time on Thursday. And we gotta drop the training time.
So I'm going to open this. I'm going to open this up for citizen comment. Are there any citizens who would like to comment on this topic? Seeing no one come forward, Troy, is there anyone online?
I have no online comment.
Thank you. I'll bring it back to the board then for further discussion or a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve payment in lieu of taxes federal funding provided to fire protection districts assisting in coverage of the Pike National Forest lands in Douglas County.
Happy to second.
First and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries. Moving on to item B. This is a resolution recommending the Board of County Commissioners approve the Town of Castle Rock's request to allocate the balance of its municipal share back for renovations. Scott is he online? Scott online? Scott McEldowney?
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Scott McEldowney for staff. Are you able to hear me?
We are, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for hearing this issue today. Today I'm here to introduce the Town of Castle Rock share back from the open space sales and use tax totaling approximately $1.69 million. And just as a matter of fact, I'd like to share some other numbers with you. The total share backs since 1999 that have been shared with municipalities is $29,139,822. And the total that has been shared back with the Town of Castle Rock is $19,297,180. So very impressive numbers. These funds will be used to help renovate some of Castle Rock's parks. So very, very exciting work that they have. I believe that Jeff Smolin from the Town of Castle Rock is in the audience, and I'd like to welcome him to say a few words if he would be able to.
Thank you, sir. If you'd like to give us your name and spell your name for us, please.
Yes, thank you. My name is Jeff Smullen. It's Jeffsmullen. I'm the Assistant Director for the Town of Castle Rock Parks and Recreation Department. Thank you for having me here today. This is the second time I've been here. It's about the same time last year, asking for the town's allocation. And so we're really excited about the projects that we're working on. As you see in your packet, we had some of the town's older parks in Butterfield and Mitchell Gulch and the Plum Creek park sites. We have, over the last year, we've completed final designs on those projects. We've got some that are wrapping up development review and one that's currently out to bid, getting ready to kind of close out the bid process on that. So we're looking to get those projects started this year. We're doing some major improvements to all those parks, and so this money will go assist in making those happen. We're also partnering with the Castle Rock Parks and Trails Foundation to try to bridge some funding gaps. In some of these cases with, say, Plum Creek Park, for instance, we're actually building, or north, we're building a whole new park. There's nothing there right now. In other cases, we're making some major changes, both for accessibility, repair and replacement, and then also to really just improve those projects. And that's one of the things we're really excited with. Butterfield Park, in your packet, we included the partnership with the Castle Rock Parks and Trails Foundation for the Possibilities Playground at Butterfield Park. That's really a first of its kind project in Castle Rock that really takes, kind of redesigns that park. So it's ready for the next 35 to 40 years. But really creates this great new play experience, first of its kind in Castle Rock, that allow children of all abilities to play side by side. We really think that's going to be a great location for that, being it's a town events park with lots of great events and music in the meadows, and there's Try the Rock and lots of other things that happen out there. So that's what we're looking to do. And then also just wanted to really express the town's gratitude to the commissioners and the taxpayers of Douglas County. For the Shareback Fund. It's really been an invaluable fund for doing all kinds of things, acquiring open space, helping to build Philip S. Miller Park, helping to renovate parks in Castle Rock. And it's been a really important source of funding to do that and assist with that.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have comments or questions for either Jeff or Scott?
Well, first and foremost, Scott, you've really done some nice things to the open space department there. That looks beautiful. That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah. It looks great. The town of Castle Rock, in our travels, we often hear about how remarkable the parks are in and around this municipality, and you have done such a phenomenal job. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to partner with you. We often hear, with regard to our 0.17 open space sales tax, it's also parks. And so being able to provide that municipal share back is significant for our citizens. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lane. Commissioner Teal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So Jeff, Plum Creek North,
Yes, sir.
is that the piece of property formerly owned by the Plum Creek Golf Course?
The Plum Creek, well, that's the town park. The town owns that park site, and we've got, again, bid documents together so that we can see what it's going to cost to build that park and finish it out.
But that's the one right off Emerald, right?
Right off of Emerald, that's right.
Okay.
Yes,
I seem to know a lot about that
do.
piece of land, don't I?
that's right, yes. And Commissioner Teal, when you were in the town, the Castle Rock Town Council led the effort to acquire that property from the golf course. That's been in the past, that was a park, or it was like a park. It was for the neighborhood. It had a pool, had tennis courts, had a playground. All those things kind of weren't maintained over time. The pool's since been removed. All the improvements have been removed. We're looking to bring that back into service and, again, make that a great park for the community there. So I think we've got some exciting plans for that site as well. It's a beautiful piece of property, amazing views right next to the clubhouse, right next to the golf course, and really central to all for Plum Creek residents in Castle Rock. So.
Thank you. I know kids and adults both love going to a park, so I'm sure that you all will put this to great use, so thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
With that, I'm going to open this up to citizen comment. Are there any citizens who would like to comment on this project? Seeing no one come forward, Troy, is there anyone online?
Thank you, Commissioner. I have no online comment.
Thank you. I will close citizen comment and then bring this back to the board for further discussion or a motion.
So if I may, Madam Chair, to just have a moment of personal privilege is a couple months ago, somebody asked me, what was my greatest accomplishment? And my greatest accomplishment was taking a development that was very controversial. It was an infill development right along a little street in Castle Rock called Emerald that had divided the neighborhood. Neighbors shouting across rooms at each other because of how controversial that development was. And Jeff, with your help, with the other Jeff, your boss's help, we were able to put together a deal, and the town of Castle Rock acquired that property. And so it did not become another green spot in our county that was paved over. And we like our houses in Castle Rock, obviously, but that was a spot that was preserved as parkland. And so boy, it's really a great accomplishment for me to sit here and to have this resolution go forward to where these funds would be shared back to the town of Castle Rock to take that promise that we made in Plum Creek neighborhood, that almost park, something like a park, would actually be preserved as a park that the people of Castle Rock would own, hopefully forever. So, Madam Chair, if it pleases the board, I would like to read a resolution this afternoon. This is a resolution recommending the Board of County Commissioners approve the town of Castle Rock's request to allocate the balance of its municipal share back for renovations for Mitchell Gulch Park, Butterfield Crossing Park, and Plum Creek North and South Park sites. Whereas the voters of Douglas County approved a countywide sales and use tax for the preservation of open space lands and for the provision of trails and parks in Douglas County, and whereas the sales and use tax enabling resolution, Douglas County Resolution R 994-062, provides for a portion of the net proceeds from the tax be attributed to each municipality located within Douglas County and are referred to as municipal shareback funds. And whereas the town of Castle Rock is a municipality within Douglas County and is eligible to receive the above-mentioned municipal shareback funds, and whereas the town of Castle Rock has requested $1,686,520.40 for its municipal shareback funding to be expended for renovations for Mitchell Gulch Park, Butterfield Crossing Park, and Plum Creek North and South Park sites. And whereas expenditure of the shareback and the sales and use tax funds must be used in accordance with the enabling resolution, now therefore be it resolved that the Douglas County Open Space Advisory Committee recommends to the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Douglas, State of Colorado, that the town of Castle Rock's request for its municipal shareback funds from the sales and use tax in the amount of $1,686,520.40 for renovations for Mitchell Gulch Park, Butterfield Crossing Park, and Plum Creek North and South Park sites be approved in accordance with the enabling resolution. Introduced this 22nd day of February 2022 in Castle Rock, Douglas County, Colorado. If there's any other discussion, I'd be happy to introduce a motion.
Well, I have a comment. I think as commissioners, there's always controversy, challenge, difficulty every day you step foot into this building. But one of the great values of public service is convening partners and doing good things for future generations. So I would like to acknowledge you, Commissioner Teal, for your work for many years and in collaboration with the town of Castle Rock to make this happen. Good job.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how hard I was sweating the night I introduced the idea of us purchasing the land from the country club, the former country club of Plum Creek Golf Course, and just, crossing my fingers and praying to my patron saints that my colleagues would join me in making that land acquisition. And it is with no sweat on my brow whatsoever that, if it pleases the board, I have a motion to approve a resolution recommending the Board of County Commissioners approve the town of Castle Rock's request to allocate the balance of its municipal shareback for renovations to Mitchell Gulch Park, Butterfield Crossing Park, and Plum Creek North and South Park sites.
And I will enthusiastically second that motion.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Do a good job, Jeff.
Thank you, Commissioners.
And item C on the regular agenda. This is a resolution recognizing the efforts of the Department of Human Services Child Welfare staff and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office Special Victims Unit. Ruby Richards for staff.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm also calling Captain Weekly up here as we recognize both departments. So first of all, thank you. I just want to express our gratitude for The board, recognizing the hard work by both departments, the Department of Human Services and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, in our efforts to protect the children of this county and to see a very difficult case to its conclusion. So thank you for that. I don't know if you have words, and then I can read the resolution.
Darren Weekly, Captain, Douglas County Sheriff's Office. Just very grateful to the board for this resolution. You'll see the staff back here of the Special Victims Unit, the detectives, the crime scene investigators that just do an amazing job every single day. And this case, sadly, is one of many cases that each of these individuals are dealing with, and they do an outstanding job day after day, and it's a tough job to do.
Thank you. If I may, I'll read the resolution. Please. Resolution recognizing the efforts of the Department of Human Services Child Welfare staff and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office Special Victims Unit. Whereas many citizens are protecting and caring for the children of Douglas County as both career and volunteer first responders, child protection professionals, and caregivers. And whereas the Department of Human Services Child Welfare caseworkers, supervisors, and managers, and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office personnel dedicate their lives to protecting the children and strengthening families. And whereas these courageous professionals at times risk their own safety in the performance of their duties to protect the children of Douglas County. And whereas child welfare staff and law enforcement personnel work diligently to bring justice to a young child that was killed by her mother and ensure the protection of her older sibling. And whereas the people of Douglas County owe our child welfare staff and law enforcement personnel a debt of gratitude for their hard work and sacrifice, now and therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of the Douglas County, Colorado hereby recognize and thanks our child welfare law enforcement personnel for their efforts, commitment, and compassion. Passed and adopted this 22nd day of February 2022 in Castle Rock, Douglas County, Colorado. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. Before I have everybody stand up, I'm going to just ask the commissioners if they have any comments first.
Well, this is an incredibly moving day. We got to talk a little bit about fire protection, talk about preserving a park. But this particular issue is incredibly significant, and I am just humbled beyond words to be sitting in the presence of consummate public safety and human services professionals that have dedicated their lives to the service of this community. I want to thank you, Captain Weekly, for your dedication and for your entire team. Ruby, Dan McKelkey. When I think about human services, it's about serving humans. And today, you didn't just serve a human, you saved a human. And this older sibling, we can't get into the details, obviously, but no doubt, is still alive today because of your timely intervention. So thank you to the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, Human Services, and for all of your compassion and care in this community. Thank you.
Commissioner Teal.
Thank you guys for doing the job that I personally would find to be heartbreaking. And I think a lot of people in this community would find it to be heartbreaking. And yet, as you said, Captain, you know, it's something that but these people do every day. So thank you all. It's an important role. We're counting on you. Keep up the good work.
So the human services people know that I can never talk without getting emotional because you save kids and you help kids in our community. So thank you. And thank you to the Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Spurlock, would you like to come forward and say anything?
Just briefly, thank you. Thanks to Health and Human Services for an incredible work in partnership with, in this case, and many other cases that law enforcement in Douglas County deal with. So they're incredible folks that do an incredible job, and I agree with you, it's a very, very difficult task to do it. But from my perspective, the men and women in that back row that worked the case, was part of every minute of the case all the way through the trial. Exceptional work on their behalf and dedication, and it just wasn't one case. They all have other cases that they got assigned to them again from some other tragedy. And so incredible work on their behalf. from the men and women of the Douglas County Sheriff's Office and the rest of Health and Human Services and their leadership. Thank you for recognizing them and giving us the opportunity. So thank you.
Sheriff, has the perpetrator been sentenced yet?
Yes. What's that? 16 years. Yeah.
Thank you. I remember
I think it
when
was a plea deal, I think is what it was.
Human Services first came to us and was telling us what happened. How could any mother do this, right? So thank you for everything you all did to hold her accountable and let Olivia know that people haven't forgotten her. So thank you. With that, I'm going to open this up to citizen comment. Are there any citizens who would like to address the board on this topic? Seeing no one come forward, Troy, is there anyone online?
Thank you, Commissioner. I have no online comment.
Thank you. I'm going to close citizen comment and then bring it back to the board for a motion.
I'm humbled to make the motion to approve a resolution recognizing the efforts of the Department of Human Services Child Welfare staff and the Douglas County Sheriff's Office Special Victims Unit.
Second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries. Thank you. Do any commissioners have any comments for the end of today's meeting?
No, ma'am.
No, but I think this room is very deserving of a standing ovation from us. So thank you, guys.
I was just going to remind everybody that the new Board of Health Director comes on board next Monday. Mike Hill will be here. He's well educated. He's been in 4 different cities at least, and he's going to bring us some excellent leadership. The next business meeting will be held on Tuesday, March 8th at 1:30 in the afternoon, and there is no land use meeting today because there were no items. So as I close this meeting, know that we are all going to meet in the next room for a reception so we can visit and thank each one of you personally for everything you did to bring this horrible case to a very satisfactory ending. So thank you, everyone. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.